Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another story time. Okay, so let's chat. Well, actually no, this isn't just like a one gender type of thing. This goes for anyone that goes out. And I mean, I know with today's times that's not as popular as it used to be, but people still go out all the time, still go out to bars, clubs, whatever. So let's chat and let's have like this is going to be a story time, and it's not like my typical ones. Like this one isn't like super funny per se. There are like some moments in it that are a little bit funny, but for the most part we're going to have like more of like a serious conversation, guys. um I like to think the majority of the people that watch my videos are probably adults, so I'm just going to say this could happen to you. So I just want to share this story so hopefully I can prevent it from happening to anybody else. We're going to talk about the night that I had something slipped in my drink at the bar, club, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I mean, you guys already know me and my friend, my best friend, used to go out quite often. And the two of us went out alone, like she and I. We always practice like the buddy system. So like you stay together. Like we went to the bathroom together. We didn't go off with people we didn't know unless we were, you know what I mean? Like we stayed together. So that is my first tip. Like if you're gonna go out, practice the buddy system, okay? Ladies and gents, because this isn't just a one gender thing. Like this could happen to anybody, but um specifically ladies, if you go with a friend, leave with that friend. Do not let her leave without you. Do not let her leave with some dude that she does not know. Do not. I don't care if you get into a fight. Like, you've got to protect your girlfriends and your guy friends. Like, let's be honest. The world is crazy. I listen to enough true crime podcast and like stuff like that, YouTube channels, to know that you never know what could happen, who could do it, or when it could happen. So make sure that you are vigilant and you don't like I'm not saying don't trust anybody, but have them earn your trust first. All right, so with that being said, we went out a lot. We would go to the club, the bar, whatever, the two of us. Now, a lot of times we would meet friends that we would meet friends there. But we were very social. So we would talk to a lot of people. We would make new friends, we would meet new people, but we always stayed together. Okay? So this particular night, we are at the club. We are on the dance floor. We are dancing. We had our drinks. Obviously, we had our drinks in our hands on the dance floor. One thing I'm going to give you, here's tip number 2. Always hold on to your drink. Do not sit your drink down. Okay? Don't set it down. Even if you're like kind of watching it, don't. Keep it in your hand. One good thing is if you have a beer bottle, put your thumb over the top of the bottle so nobody can slip anything into your drink when you're not paying attention. Because if you're just holding it, if you're holding it down here, you're holding it here, or you're like talking to somebody and your hand goes out here, it's not hard for someone to just plop something in that drink. Same with like a glass. Keep it. Keep an eye on it. Watch your friends' drinks. Just like have fun, have a good time, but also don't be a dumbass, okay? Like I was. All right, so we're on the dance floor, we're dancing, we have our drinks, and off beside the dance floor, there's a group of guys. We'll say 4 or 5 because I can't remember exactly how many they were. They were all pretty generic looking dudes. None of them stick out in my mind. I don't remember what any of them look like. So they were pretty generic looking guys. We'll say 5 of them. Okay. They at this club they had like these test tube shots, and there would have like this little like thing that held the test tubes, and the shot girls would walk around and you could just like give them cash and buy like a shot or two, or you could buy the whole like thing of shots. Well, these guys, I guess, were trying to impress my friend and I, and they were like, hey, you know, you want to come take some shots with us? And they had two like long rows of shots. One of them was Walking with Jesus, which is blue, and if you've never had one, there's a reason why the drink has that name. Like, you will, after one, you will feel like you are about to go walk with Jesus, okay? Um, and it tastes like blue, like a blue popsicle to me. And so I was like, all right, I'll take one of those. And instead of grabbing my own shot, instead of physically reaching in and grabbing a shot from the thing, a guy had one in his hand. And as I was going to grab one, he like kind of like stuck it out in my hand. And I was like, oh, okay, I take the shot. We never got like drunk. We never got drunk, period, when we went out together. A lot of times we wouldn't even drink. We just went to like socialize, dance, have a good time, meet new people, whatever. You know what I mean? So we were not there trying to get drunk. And one test tube shot is definitely, or was definitely not enough to get me like wasted, okay? And we had not been there like pounding shots, pounding drinks, getting wasted, or anything like that. We were just having a good time, dancing, whatever. So I want to say within about 5 minutes of taking that shot, because we took the shot, we probably talked to the dudes for like a minute, and then we walked off, because we're not trying to pick you up. We're not trying to get your number. We're not trying to go home with you. Like, no, thank you. We're not interested. Like, we got our free shot. Thank you. We're gone. Okay. And everybody has done it, especially ladies. Some guys like, hey, you want a drink? Yeah, sure. Give me that free drink. I'm gone. I'm out. Okay. I used to be the world's worst. I would, like, a guy would talk to me and I'd be totally uninterested. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, can I buy you a drink? I would get that drink and I would bounce. Okay. I would be gone. That dude would never see me again. Is it necessarily right? Am I proud of it? Maybe not. But, you know, guys, don't be stupid. Don't just try to buy girls drinks to get their attention. Like, no. But anyways, I digress. That's not the point. About 5 minutes later, like, all of a sudden, the room started to spin. My eyes started to black. Like, I couldn't see anything. It was like almost like they turned the volume down in the whole club. Like, the voices were quiet. The music was quiet. I just, like, everything felt like it just, like, closed in. And I was in my own little bubble. I felt so out of control of my body, if that makes sense. And thankfully, we knew the DJ, and he was a really good friend. He looked out for us. He watched over us. So I just remember thinking, I've got to get to that DJ booth. And I just, like, remember walking to it, opening the door, going in, and I like, threw my back against the wall, and I just melted down into the floor of the DJ booth, and I just laid there. And I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything. And I don't know if it's because my eyes were closed and I just thought I couldn't see, or if my eyes were open and it was just like black. But like, that was the most out of control I've ever felt in my life. And if I had been in the wrong hands, I could have ended up dead. You know what I mean? And that is what the scariest part is because, like, if I hadn't had enough ability to get somewhere safe, I could have ended up God knows where, you know? So he immediately, like, was like, oh shit, you know? So he took off his button-up shirt, and I remember him kind of like picking up my head and putting his shirt underneath my head. And I remember like waves of like stuff, like noise. Like, I remember my best friend coming in and she's like, what's wrong with her? What's going on? We've got it. Like, we need to leave. Help me get her to the car. And he was like, no, let her lay here until the club closes. Like, she needs to stay here. And then, you know, like, I'll help you get her home, all that. So I laid there, and I don't know how long, because I have no concept of how long I was in that DJ booth. I have no concept of time at that point. I was in and out of consciousness, And I don't know how long I was there, like I said, but I remember being picked up by a bouncer and taken down a stairway I've never seen before. I think it was like a back entrance exit for like employees. And I remember being placed in the back seat of the car. And I remember like my best friend like checking on me and telling me, "You're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay." And I remember like being in and out of consciousness in the back seat as we drove to a friend's house to where we were going to crash for the night. And I don't remember getting inside. I don't remember getting in the bed. I don't remember going to sleep because obviously I was already asleep. But just everything was like a blur of like going in and out of consciousness. And let me reiterate, this is not from being drunk. I had a shot, okay? A shot. I've had many of those shots in the past. I've never gotten drunk off of one of those shots, and I've never been drunk to this capacity ever. And except for like maybe one or two times when I'm talking about like we had like 7 shots and mixed drinks and this and that, and we'd been partying for like hours. Like everybody's had those idiot nights where you're like, you wake up the next day and you're like, "Oh my God, I hate everything." But this was not that circumstance. Like I want to reiterate that. And so the next day, I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I never sleep in after I drink. Like I could get drunk and I still wake up at like 6 a.m. the next day ready to go. I can go off like 2 hours of sleep and I'm ready to go the next day. This was not the case. I felt so bad, but it wasn't like a hangover. It was like my body just felt so groggy and lethargic and so like just weird. And so we're driving back home and the next morning, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And the only thing we could think of is that that guy had to have put something in that shot. And the realization that because I mean obviously I don't have like 100% proof, the realization that could have very well been the case was terrifying. Like what if I hadn't have had a safe place to go pass out at the club? What if, like I had stayed with them and they had taken me out of the bar, Like they didn't know that I knew some of the bouncers personally, and they would have never let a bunch of dudes just take me out to their car drunk, but they didn't know that, like what if? So I just wanted to like kind of like put this story time on, out for everybody, just as like a cautionary tale to be careful. Like have fun, live your life for sure, because I enjoyed every second of going out and having fun and meeting new people and having a drink and all that stuff, and it was great, and I would not take back a second of it, because even the bad experiences, I learned something. They were learning experiences, which is important, because if you are going to have a bad experience, you might as well learn a lesson. You know what I mean? Thankfully, I didn't have to learn a worse lesson, to be honest. So I just want to say, like, do the buddy system. Watch out for your friends. Make sure you're out with a friend that's going to watch out for you. Keep an eye on your drinks. Protect them. Don't just let a guy, if he offers to buy you a drink, don't let him go get it. Go to the bar with him. Like, order it yourself, say it with your mouth, and have that bartender put that drink in your hand. Not let him get it first and then give it to you. Like, be safe, think. Think before you act, for sure. Thankfully, I am someone that was very lucky, and the worst that happened was the fact that I felt like crap for like 3 days. I felt very just tired and lethargic, but other than that, I was a very lucky person who did not have any like permanent, I didn't have like so many things could have happened, and I am very thankful that I did have a friend. I did have friends that were watching out for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know it isn't like my typical like funny story times, and I apologize for that, but it is a story time. Not all story times have to be humorous. Like some of them can be a lesson. So let that be a lesson to you ladies and gents, because I know a lot of times we think this kind of thing can only happen to women. Wrong. It can definitely happen to guys too. So be careful. I mean, there are all kinds of predators out there. There are all kinds of assholes out there. So that is my story about the time someone slipped something in my drink at the club and I had no idea. So I hope you, when I say enjoyed this video, I hope you enjoyed this story time, this little relaxed video. If you want to see more story time videos, just let me know in the comments down below. If you have any like specific questions and you want to like ask like specific things like you want to hear a story about, like leave it in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to talk about it with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment before you go, and I will see you in my next video.